This is gonna be.
Yo, I don't really know a proper way to keep my focus. Been gambling on the daily, might as well be playing poker. Feels like a long way from a day that I ain't
Yo,
What's up, champ?
what's the word, baby?
Ain't much, man. How you doing?
Oh man, we back.
Back
We
again.
stop Bodega.
Yes, sir.
You know
yes,
what I mean?
sir.
And the love is real, man. The love and the feedback is real. So
What you been hearing things?
yeah,
What you
man.
What you been
First
hearing?
of all, peace to everybody that is showing love, that's subscribing, that is hitting that like, that's commentating. Hey, we love it all. We thank you for the interaction. We see you. So, you know, we just gonna keep growing, and that's what it is. You know, B-side Bodega. So what you got going on, man? I see you kind of shining over there, brother. What's that?
Yeah, I had to grab these when I saw them, man. These, Jordan 1s, mids. And this is like a, what do you call it? The gold, the gold and the white and the black, patent leather.
Okay.
Joints,
I see what you're doing, brother.
Yeah,
You think I don't see? I see you.
I can't
shining.
stop there, I gotta keep going.
Okay.
With it until it's complete.
That's what's
Till my
up.
cipher is complete.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it on the urban hikers.
Oh man, I took it
Gore-Tex.
back to the '90s in Harlem. I mean, I'm Brooklyn. Y'all know I'm Brooklyn, but there was a period that I was in Harlem heavy. So in Harlem, the Vast joints was major, and of course they trickled down to Brooklyn, Queens, and all of that. But they originally was a Harlem boot, right? So these are the Vast Skywalker hiking boots, and I saw them one day. I just thought about it. I was like, man, I remember these boots. I wonder if I could find them again. Went online, did my Googles, boom, let me get that. You know what I'm saying? Within a couple of days later, I had them right on my doorstep.
Was the price crazy?
I think I paid like $200.
Yeah. That's how it is when you go back to grab stuff from the past.
Yeah.
It's not gonna cost what it cost back.
Right. But so speaking of the past, that's what B-side Bodega is about. We delve into current, but we also talk about a lot of the past, fashion, politics, music, everything. So we cater to our 40s, even late 30s, 40s, 50s in that hip hop era.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for the next installment of the B-side Bodega.
Well, it's the B-side Bodega, you know the movement is major. We get it from the ground and don't be asking for no favors. A crew of creators staying fly with the flavors, going hard cause we building the dynasty like the Lakers. No haters could ever stop us or ever top us. We took over the world and left the rest of it behind us. And you were very lucky to find us because some of the greats approve, and I pity you who declined us. We get into the mix discussing music and fashion, then we touch on current events and other things that be happening. Yeah, you could learn a lot from hanging out with these guys. The Bodega on the B-side, The B-side.
Yes. It's the ultrasonic boom fresh. It's your boy DJ Pop Rek, aka Sabado Gigante. And on the left side of me, I got my main man.
The Rough in the house, and we got my man Hadyn, aka who are you? Who is you?
Who I am.
Okay.
All right. And on the right side of me, I got my main man.
What it do? Molik Shabazz. Mo better, mo wet. What's going on, everybody? Happy to be here.
That's right, man. That's right. Happy to have y'all here, man. So what's poppin', Rufio? I mean, you making a little bit of noise, man.
Yeah, man. We just doing, what we do, and people are tuning in.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I ain't mad at it.
That's
either.
all it is.
Only thing I'm mad at is the fact that we ain't do it sooner. You know what I'm saying? But it's a movement. In case y'all ain't know, it doesn't stop with the B-side Bodega. It actually starts with Pro Lab Collective. So if y'all don't know, you might want to do your Googles. We all that. So yeah, what's going on, man? What's on your plate?
Oh man. Not too much. We checked out the Digable Planets Blackout Cone.
So, for those who don't know, once again, it just brings us back to the title of the show, the B-side Bodega. And we basing it on B-side for a lot of reasons. But in this particular case, joints that might have fell under the radar. You know what I'm saying? So, as you know, Digable Planets, they was heavy in the 90s. They had the joint, I'm cool like that. What was the official name of it?
Cool Like That?
Now the official album?
Nah, the official name of that song.
Cool Like That?
Now the official name of it was Rebirth of Slick Rick.
That's right.
Cool Like That.
Right. And that's all people know them for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Rebirth of Slick. I'm sorry.
Where I'm from.
Yeah.
That was a single too.
Yeah. But it wasn't as heavy as the Rebirth of Slick.
Okay.
Well, at least it wasn't in New York, if I can say.
And then they had a remix. Was it a remix to one of them? What's that one that they had that was like it was a tough beat, yo. They got this other song.
That they had a video for it?
They did. It was black and white. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about? What song was
yeah.
it?
My girl Jazzy Joyce was on it.
Okay.
Um,
Man, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Go ahead and keep the conversation going. I'm gonna tell you what it is in a second.
But yeah, so basically everybody knew them for that song, or rather them two songs.
It was the remix to Where I'm From.
Okay.
All right.
That beat is hard too.
Yeah.
Crazy hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so basically everybody knew them for the Rebirth of Slick and then the follow-up single. But if you really listen to the album, you'd have caught some jewels. You know what I'm saying? I like the intro track, Slow as Cone, the Black Egos. They got a lot of joints. They got 13 joints on the album. They got a joint with J. Rue the Damager, Graffiti.
Fire.
That joint hard.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you had a thought.
No. I was just gonna say that was my first introduction to Digable Planets, right? When they dropped, the Rebirth, the Slick, and that beat was so timeless. It was dun 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 dun. So
even the
bass line.
yeah, I was like, yo, who are these? Who are these guys? You know, and young lady as well. It was fire when it dropped. You know,
It was different.
yeah, it was definitely different, and it caught on. You know, caught everybody's ear. So, yeah, that was my first introduction to him, man, and very talented group. You know, the second album that came out, one of the ones that did stand out for me back in that time was The Art of Easing. So that was that was a standout track even back then, in '94. But yeah, man, you're right. There was a lot of jewels on there that was missed and overlooked. You know.
Yeah, and if I'm correct, wasn't they like on a 5% type?
I think so.
Vibe?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Okay.
The lady in the group,
Ladybug, I believe.
she's a Marylander, native Marylander.
Oh,
Get
that's
outta
what's up,
here.
man.
Yeah, I think she's from Jessup.
Oh, that's what's up.
Somebody got got Google on them. It's good. You good, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's classic. Yeah, I was reading a little bit more about
All right.
yeah.
Ladybug Mecca.
Yeah.
Where's she from?
Let's see here, bro. Oh, you know she got a
Ladybug Mecca.
yeah. Oh wow, hold on. But yeah, man, they had some joints, man. They had some solid production, you know, and all of that. I liked them. It was different. It wasn't what I was used to.
Yeah, it was a little. Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, when it first came out, I low-key was kind of hating on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like with everything that came out, that particular album in 1994, like you had Nas drop Illmatic.
Yeah.
You had Biggie who dropped Ready to Die. So it was like a couple of, premier hip-hop artists that were like coming out at that moment, making their first debut. And this was their sophomore album. So,
and I think you might could relate to this. It wasn't. I don't want to diminish the value, because they was dope, but it wasn't that gritty hip hop like you said at that particular era.
yeah.
that we knew.
Yeah.
It was more, to me, I took it as the backpack type, Greenwich Village,
Yep. Yep.
Tompkins Square Park type joint where
Yep.
everybody in a cipher
Yep. Absolutely.
burning incense.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what I took it as.
No, absolutely.
So
Yep.
I was kind of typecasted it to Nas
Yep.
and J. Rule and all
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
And I didn't give it that love. But now in retro, we checking it out on the retro review.
And it's pretty dope. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
So
Pretty
to
dope.
do the research, she from Montgomery County, Maryland.
Oh, Montgomery
PG County.
Okay.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Salute to Montgomery County. PG.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't know that, did y'all?
Nah, I didn't know that.
Look.
Interesting fun fact.
Yes, indeed. Gave Maryland its props.
Listen, and honestly, I literally just thought about that at that moment. I was like, something.
How did you know that?
Oh, I heard it years ago, but I wasn't thinking about it when,
Yeah.
Well, Maryland on the low got some people out there that for real. Like who y'all got?
In terms of
put me on the spot like that.
Like music wise. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about
Music wise, we got of course Drew Hill, Mario, King Los,
Rough Ends,
Tony Braxton,
Braxton,
all the Braxtons,
Yeah. From Silver Spring.
Marie,
Lloyd Banks.
Get out of here.
Well, he was
Banks.
born here, but he didn't grow up here.
He was born in Baltimore?
He was born in like
I mean, but that's the same thing with
PG County, Largo or something like that.
Yeah.
I think.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that
Double check me.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's a fact.
That's true. Lloyd Banks.
I mean, he's from Queens, New York, but his origin is Maryland.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yo, we got look. I know somebody that did the opposite. He was born in New York and he grew up in PG.
It happens.
Shout out to Rhyme Haven.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it's facts. Yeah, man.
Mello too, right?
Carmelo was born in Brooklyn.
Right.
Nah, he came here.
He was
like
raised on 1200, 1300 Myrtle Ave, Old West.
Okay.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he came here when he was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Same
I mean,
thing.
he clings Baltimore.
And the same thing with Tupac. Tupac was born, I believe, in Harlem, right?
Yeah, Tupac was born in New York. Yeah.
And then came out here
Yeah.
in Baltimore and did his thing.
We went to the same middle school. Shout out to Roland Park.
Man, interesting
Roland
fact.
Park.
Yeah,
Hey.
he went to Roland Park.
Yeah, man.
I saw his class picture
That's dope.
not
That's
too
pretty
long
dope.
ago, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
My Diamond got an ad with him.
Yeah.
Him and Jada.
Okay.
All right. So Lloyd Banks was born in Baltimore.
You lying.
That's what it
No
says.
bullshit.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Seriously. Christopher Lloyd Banks was born in Baltimore, Maryland, and raised in South Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Damn.
I didn't know it was that close.
Look, Baltimore, you got another one.
Yeah.
Don't claim us.
but it's like
you know who was born here? That the people don't know? DMX.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I know he did spend a lot
I
of
know
time
he got
out
a lot
here.
of
He
love
was
for
born
Baltimore. Yeah, he got a lot of love for Baltimore.
I think his father might have been from here or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I think.
But it's that classic phrase, it's not where you're from, it's where you at, right? So, wherever you lay your head at, that's your grounds, So that's what you is. So.
We know y'all don't feel like that.
I mean,
You New Yorkers, y'all
I'm definitely proud.
definitely proud.
You should be, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You from Baltimore, you rock that. You know what I'm saying?
You from Delaware?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you rock that.
Yeah. But
No doubt.
But I got a lot of love for Baltimore.
Facts, 100%.
Some of the best people I've ever met in my life is from here.
Absolutely, man. And the other piece of that too is like, I think we had talked about it where, maybe you migrated young, maybe you did a transplant at young, 20 years in the place, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep your pride, but recognize where you at too. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you spent 20 years, you raised a family. It's a different story, different narrative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I've been here since 9/11. Like right after 9/11, a few months later. Well, when 9/11 happened, I already knew I was making that move.
Yeah, you already knew. You was getting out of New York because it was just too much. Yeah.
That was the thing. That was the thing that made you make that decision. That was the event. Or were you already playing?
Twin Towers, baby.
Nah, well, you know, shit, I was already in a bad place mentally. You know, I was in a long-term relationship, and me and Shorty broke up, and then 9/11 happened, and I'm like, you know, she moved out maybe like a couple of weeks before 9/11 happened. So then 9/11 happened. You want to come home to a hug or something.
Yeah.
I came home to an empty crib with the TV showing the same thing over and over, the plane crashing, boom.
Yeah.
And then I worked there. So I literally, when they opened Ground Zero back up, I had to walk through that. There were soldiers on every corner with machine guns. Looked like something out of an apocalyptic movie.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I'm
what
saying?
made you relocate down here though?
Bruh, that's a good question. Because I knew absolutely nobody, not one single person.
Yeah.
He was like, what's the next realest city in America?
Yo, I met this girl.
That's facts, man.
I met this girl, and me and her clicked, and we talked. We were just talking for a few months until it was time to move. And one day she told me, she was from the West Coast. She was from Vacaville. If you know where that's by the Bay area.
Yeah.
And she was like, one day she called me and she was like, you know what? I'm going with you. Straight up. And me, I was already in a place where I just needed that void to be filled. I was like, I bet. She had a old classmate that lived out here. And yo, I flew to the Bay Area, and we drove all the way from San Francisco to Baltimore.
How long did that take?
Yeah, that was crazy.
That shit took a long time. I want to
Like
say
2 days minimum.
more than that.
Yeah.
It took like, I want to say 3 days.
Okay.
You drove cross country.
Cross country.
If you did it in 3 days, bro, you did like 1,000 miles a day. I think it's like 3,000 miles across from the East Coast.
So
to
it
the
might have
West
been
Coast.
4 days.
Okay.
But really, for real, it was long.
It's a serious drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't have did it.
Yeah.
I couldn't have did that.
But see, I was still so heartbroken over my previous situation that I jumped on anything that said, boom, I'm gonna be right there by your side.
Gotcha.
So Shorty said that. I was like, bet. And we came out here to Baltimore, and she had one of her high school friends, and you know, he hosted us for a couple of months. And I'm telling you, I ain't know not one single person. Not one person. Only thing that was comforting to me is I was 3 hours away from home if I had to go home.
Yeah. Okay. That's true.
Yeah.
Word. You know.
That's what's up, man. That's definitely what's up.
enjoying this. Who used to get this to us again?
Oh, big shout to Kira, man. Kira, much love, baby. She gave me that BlackBerry
Kira.
bag. Limited edition, might I ask. Look at that. Look at that bag, man. Purple.
Nice.
Word. So what else we got on the plate, Rufio? Like, what's going on?
I saw where Jim Jones challenged Cam to a fight. Wanted Mayweather to
Nah, bro.
promote it. He wanted $10 million. And he said he boxed his head off or something.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I saw that. I took a look at the whole interview. Did you see the whole interview, the Breakfast Club interview?
No,
I
didn't see
did.
it.
I just saw that one.
Yeah, so, and I figured that, like, maybe you just saw, like, that clip, you know. It was an interesting interview. It's like an hour long. But, yeah. I mean, that was interesting that, you know, Jimmy would say that, right, about Cam, being that they were brothers, they came up together, right? I kind of looked at it differently. I had a different perspective, right? I think a lot of people looked at. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
No. Different than what? What was the?
Oh yeah. So
general perspective.
I think the general perspective from what I got was, that's corny. You know, like, you know, Jim Jones is, you know, portraying like a tough guy at his age. You know, what's going on with that? You know, why is he like asking Cam to box for however much money? So my perspective on that was slightly different, right? It was more like, all right, okay, you know, I don't know if it's necessarily about quote unquote being a tough guy, right? Like I don't really get that from Jim Jones, right? I kind of get more like, you know, a guy who like stands up for what he believes in, right? Like more like, you know, hey, like I know I'm not the toughest dude, right? But I'm not I'm not going to allow anybody to harm me, right? And I think that kind of gets misconstrued with the imagery, right? Like
Right.
He's
Just
he's
a man with
associated-
self-respect.
Yeah, just a man with self-respect. You know, like I think which most of us would want, right? As we maneuver through the world and through life, like, all right, hey, listen, man, depending on your terrain, your environment, you got to navigate according to that, right? If your terrain is if it involves difficult conditions, then maybe you have to adjust to that, right? And what does that look like, right? Your way of adjusting may be different from mine, right? So going back to that piece, I feel like there's a lot of pain between those brothers, right? More so Jim. And it's funny because my wife and I, we talk about it all the time. She's like, nah, babe, loyalty. And I'm like, I don't know, babe. Like, there has to be some level of loyalty amongst the gentlemen, right? Like, if we came in this together, I'm not saying you can't change, but I mean, come on, like, keep that love, keep a little bit of love there for me, right? I'm not saying you can't go make money and do different things and be a businessman.
Who do you think was more wrong?
Man, that's a great question, right? Because the way that we're looking at it, everybody has an opinion, right? Based on your optics and what you see, right? Like, hey, well, in my opinion, I think that there's egos, right? There's bias. I respect Jim Jones for the fact that he said, yo, listen, man, I respect what you got going on, Cam. I helped build the Dipset, right? I helped build that.
Yeah.
But if nobody is, looking at me or putting interest and focus on me, then how do I take care of mine?
Okay.
Right?
Now, Mo, you my dude.
Absolutely,
You
100%.
my guy.
100%. You already.
So who was more wrong, though?
Yeah, I would have to go with, from the optics perspective.
Yeah,
From the optics, I would say we'd probably have to move a little bit towards Jim.
Okay.
Only because of like the heightened experience between 50 Cent and Cam, right? At that moment,
Okay.
It was like, all right, well, which side are you on, right? I get the business opportunity, but there's something going on between your camp and his camp.
And all money ain't good money,
And
right?
all money ain't good money. Yeah. So to your point, you can shine the light on Jim slightly.
I feel like for real, they need 5 minutes in a room like this.
Yeah.
With nobody in the room. Like
just-
straight up, 5 minutes. Like my brother, you gotta give me 5 minutes. And we gotta shoot the 5.
I feel that.
Straight up.
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that.
What you think?
I feel that.
I mean, I absolutely think that they need to shoot the fade,
Yeah.
but like what's accomplished?
You said absolutely. That's why I say
absolutely. Like they need to shoot the fade because like he's talking shit, but Cam is like he's trying to take the politically correct approach right now, currently. But Jim is like taking the gully approach.
Yeah.
So like, of course they need to shoot the fade, but like, what's gonna be accomplished?
Yeah.
That's why when you said absolutely, I'm like.
I mean, absolutely, because they need to get some shit off their
But they won't get nothing
chest.
accomplished, like you said. So
Yeah, so it's like,
why even do that?
what's
You don't
gonna-
think they're gonna get nothing accomplished?
What's gonna happen?
I mean, it could be a stunt for all we know, right? Because they've done
Let's
stuff like
say
this
it's not,
before.
though.
Right, and let's say it's not. Let's say it's not. Okay.
And Cam been talking mad shit for a long time.
And that's why-
ain't nobody ever stepped to him like
I
checked
agree.
him.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked him
Yeah.
who you, in your opinion,
Yeah.
who's more wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there is no right or wrong.
Nah,
It's
nah,
all
nah.
perspective.
It's all
I
perspective,
think personally with two brothers that like literally had business with each other, history with each other,
Yeah.
they need to work this shit out behind
Behind, yeah.
closed doors.
I agree with that.
And like make it work.
Yeah.
And like discuss the shit like grown men. Like what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
But they gotta shoot the fade.
yeah.
Like I don't see nothing to avoid that. Like
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you on that. It's too much that's been said. It's
Yeah.
too much, like you said, the respect has been like crossed,
Yeah.
But if that happens, they need to leave it there, though.
They need to leave it there, yeah.
Whatever happens behind closed doors. That's it.
Absolutely.
Right, like have Freaky Zeke in there just to make sure ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
So nothing pop off, man.
But no,
Yeah, but salute to both of those brothers, man. Cam and Jim. Shout out to Harlem. Shout out to Manhattan. I know you Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, it's West 95th Street, between Columbus and Amsterdam, Central Park West.
Okay.
Not quite Harlem, but just a few blocks from Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Close enough to see what's going on. You know what I mean? You know. But yeah, man. Shout out to them, man. Big fan of the Dips.
I just hate to see it.
I know, me too, man. It really hurts me because it's like, you know, I've been in them situations before where it's like, man, is this guy really my guy? Like all the things we've been through, like, you know, maybe not from a business perspective, but just like the fun times that we had, the memories that we shared, the adventures that we've been on. Like, does any of that mean anything, or does it mean nothing? You know?
Or was it ever anything?
Was it ever anything? That's a good point.
Like, was you ever my boy?
I know.
No, that's sad.
You know what it seemed like?
Yeah.
When Shawn Michaels kicked Marty Jannetty in the chin. That's what this is like, yo.
Yeah.
They was never supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
And I think that was real. He broke his jaw for real, didn't he?
He broke his jaw for real.
Yeah, he kicked him in the face with some cowboy boots on.
Yeah, man. You know, it's funny because I know this is the topic, but it kind of makes me think about the same thing between, and I don't want to, spend too much time on it, but I had the same feeling in my heart with Jay and Beanie Siegel, right? It was like, oh, come on, man. Like, yeah, come on. Like, the music out there was incredible. Like, the chemistry was just impeccable. Like, what happened?
Did they have beef?
Well, there was some
they
bad
do.
feelings.
I know Beans felt the way about Jay, but I don't think Jay was ever like feeding into that.
Nah,
Beans is mad at Jay because Jay wouldn't take a responsibility for him when the judge was going to let him go. He's like, "You willing to be responsible for another grown ass man?" And Jay was like, "Nah."
Yeah, that's facts.
Who would say yes?
Right. Yeah.
If he does, be responsible how? If he
yeah.
does something, I gotta.
Yeah, that's like co-signing for a stranger. Like that's like co-signing, a car
You
for a
don't
stranger.
know if you're gonna co-sign or not.
Yeah, that's facts.
You don't know that. Because if it's your brother that you truly love, all right, peep me. If you truly love this dude, like, this is my brother.
Can we curse on here?
Yeah.
Bro, if you defending a nigga, like, you holding down, like, Beans was, like, shooting them motherfuckers. Like, bro.
And you gonna be responsible for that.
You need to be, like, you need to hold that nigga down. Son.
No, what I'm saying.
If, like, I'm with this shit. Like, if I shoot at a like, niggas for you, that, like, we on the road and, like, niggas trying to run up on our security and I shoot at these niggas, like, you better hold me down.
Okay, so that's
yeah,
seriously. You mean like because he did that stuff for Jay, then Jay should hold him down?
Jay should have held like that. He should.
And that was my point.
Well, did he do that for Jay? Or did he do that because that's just what he was getting into?
He did that because he held the whole rock down.
Yeah, he did.
So why? Because he went at the locks?
Nah, it's the same thing.
What did he do?
It's the same thing with
Who he go after Jay?
He would shoot. Niggas would roll up on them trying to start beef
when they were scheming on Kanye.
Cities. And Beans was like spray the whole crowd up. Like,
but then he asked him to do that.
Bro.
Just because you do it don't mean I owe you something, yo.
So that's like, you my man. You Jay-Z. You the biggest thing since sliced bread. And we on the road and niggas roll up on you and I'm like, bro, you don't even know about this shit. Yeah. I'm behind the scenes like,
yo, I just killed these niggas for you, yo.
Yeah, you on it.
Like, and then you don't even know. And then I get locked up and indicted because I'm holding you down, security. Yeah. And then,
is that what happened though, bro?
That's exactly what the fuck.
It was like what happened to Shine.
Yeah.
And
I never heard it that way.
Yeah. That's where I was coming at.
So Beans was doing everything that he was doing was for Jay-Z.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that Beans
was
the muscle. Beans was the muscle.
But
who told him to beat him? Who were they doing before he got there? He wasn't always a part of Rockefeller.
But here's another example. If I may.
Who was the muscle before that? You get what I'm saying? They didn't need that. They didn't have no kind of problem.
Well, here's the thing though. Here's another way to look at it, right? And this kind of ties back to Jim Jones. Like when we look at, and again, we don't glamorify, we don't do nothing to that extreme, but when you look at like, let's say Bloods and Crips, right? What is it that they all recognize? No, they recognize the organization. They recognize that they are part of something. It's just that simple. It's in their minds, they are part of something that they all belong to, right? So now we bring it in. Now we bring it into hip hop, right? Dipset, Rockefeller, right? What am I fighting for? I'm fighting for something that I belong to. It might not necessarily be Jay-Z directly, but it's the idea of the brand that we stand for, what we built together. So when I take those trips with you, and anything out there that harms us or has the potential to harm us, maybe you might not have it within you to be that self-respecting person, right? But maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the one that's gonna say, hey, wait, no, you fall back, I got this. To your point, now we're in a situation where our loyalty really matters, you know? So again, it's not like, you know, he did all of these things or Jimmy or Beans, but it's that understanding of, listen, man, we a part of something special. We a part of something great. We established and built this together. I'm not gonna let nobody, you know, come between that. Even if that means putting people in harm that try to harm us. That's really all that it is.
So who did he take care of for them?
Who, Beans?
Yeah.
All right, there was a situation documented in a couple of interviews where I think they was at a diner or a restaurant.
And niggas rolled up
scheming
on
on Kanye.
Yeah.
And Beans stood up on that situation.
Yeah,
And
he stood
just
up.
shot at the whole crew.
So because of that, Jay should have been like, yeah, I'll be responsible for it.
No, I mean,
that's
I don't
a
want to isolate it.
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah.
It's the same shit like Jay held down Kanye when Kanye was about to get robbed in New York. And Beans, not Jay, Beans like rolled up on the dudes and like flashed and was like, yo,
Like, yeah, you all
it's
right?
not about to happen.
Yeah.
He was like, he held down Kanye,
held him down.
like, but Kanye was growing.
Yeah.
So look at his supremacy now, like one of the kings of hip hop, like, and he feels he's the GOAT, even though he's not. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said that literally recently.
And you know what? That's a great point because Kanye recognizes it.
Yeah.
Because when he was going,
So why didn't Kanye take responsibility for him then?
Well, I mean, he was rising. He was on the cover. He wasn't there yet.
Nigga, like,
he wasn't
like
there yet.
Beans.
I don't think Kanye needed that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I hear what y'all are saying, but I feel like it's probably more so like a thing where, okay, so you're using me for an example. I'm out here doing what I'm doing, and you peep something that I wasn't, I wasn't even sweating, and you thought it was an issue, and you went and checked some dudes, but I ain't tell you, you know what I'm saying?
Just because you think it wasn't a situation worth sweating, don't mean it wasn't a situation worth sweating.
What if you hadn't done that and nothing still happened? I still owe you?
Now,
for doing that?
Now, see, you speaking from an individual perspective, right? We're talking about, let's just use a real example. Let's say the four of us are out on the road doing a show, right? We doing our thing. Let's say we're in Florida somewhere, right? And it's the four of us, right? And you go, you do something, and then a group of people come to you with harm, right, or a situation.
But the shit actually pops off.
Well, I mean, it could pop off or it may not, but it's enough to where it raises your sense of awareness to where you alert us. What do you expect us to do? Oh, well, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Do you want me to become an individual at that moment? Would you like for me to become an individual at that moment?
Good point. That's a good point.
No, that's not the same thing. What I'm saying is, like, I operate off of the philosophy of don't start none, won't be none. Like if ain't nobody.
But Raphael, you can't control your environment all the time. I get what you're saying.
No, when the situation calls for it, then rise to the occasion. But don't be. Yeah, I seen these dudes over here. They was talking real greasy about you. Did they do anything?
You're
right, then. They can say what they want.
But check this out.
They didn't touch me.
Check this out.
So if you go over there and you start flashing them and shit, like it didn't have to happen.
But check this out though.
But go ahead.
Like Beans might have flashed the pistol a couple times or shot at dudes that may have de-escalated.
Yeah, this is all speculation. Allegedly, we don't really know.
All speculation, but it may have de-escalated beef that happened in other cities.
Yeah.
So they may have went from that city. Let's say they was in Houston, Beef jumped off. Beans shot up a group of
He's
people.
shooting at people. Come on, man.
But then they go to another
Come
city.
on, man.
They
Like,
go
that's
to
not
another
like.
city, and the other city niggas gonna be like, man, we ain't fucking with them. We ain't fooling with that. Beans, bro, like, he about that action.
No, I get that. I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, was it necessary? Like,
So-
was that? I mean, it's cool to know that, like, if that's what's happening, then we got somebody like that. But like, really, what I'm trying to do is go in here and go home with no incidents.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck with,
100%.
like, you're gonna have haters. But the thing is this: you could have haters. You know how many haters you could have beef with if you engage them. If you actually engage them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you can walk through. They can think and say what they think and say, and you can leave, and that's.
You're right. Yeah.
But if you start
Yeah, that's different. Yeah,
now, y'all got a problem beyond that moment.
absolutely.
Especially if you got them.
Absolutely.
They want to get you back. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When
I
does it
get what
stop?
you're saying. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Well,
you're
you
right.
know, to the original point, to spin the block.
Yeah.
If Jay-Z should have done it or not, in my personal opinion, yeah, Jay, you should have.
You would have did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really would have did it. Now, if Beans would have messed up and proved me wrong,
That'd have been on
then
him.
that's that. I would have had to eat that.
Yeah, yeah.
But Jay,
What would you have said when you was eating it? I shouldn't. I never
well,
should
then,
have.
I mean, that's just gonna have to be what it is.
I never should have did that. Like,
So he did.
said no.
He did tell Beans chill.
Yeah, he
but
did.
He wouldn't chill.
He wouldn't chill.
Yeah.
I don't blame him for
But
saying that.
how you gonna start like?
I've seen how you've carried yourself. I don't trust you to stay out of trouble.
So
No,
if Beans
I
get
don't
into
take
trouble, what's gonna
responsibility.
happen? What's gonna happen? Beans gonna go to jail.
If they ask you, are you taking responsibility for him? What does that mean?
Yeah, it means like he's released it.
Are
to
you
your-
willing to be responsible
your
for
custody? Yeah.
me?
What
And
does
I'm
that?
a live wire out here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what happens if Jay takes responsibility for Beans and Beans wilds out? Then what's
I don't know. Whatever the responsibility entails, but he's on the hook somehow.
But
for this
either
judge
way-
to say that to him,
That's Jay-Z.
maybe he's considered a liability to your company. They're gonna sue Rockefeller if he shoots somebody.
But
Right?
that's like.
Are you willing to pay?
Bro,
Hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
I don't think
Are
that's
you
the
willing
case.
to-
Yeah.
You can't sue Rockefeller
Why can't you? They're a company.
because that man. I don't know. Hey, look. Everybody in the
What
audience,
happened?
leave a comment if
Hold
you
on,
think
hold
they
on.
could sue
I'm
Rockefeller.
gonna give you another example. You tell me if this makes it or brings it closer to home. When that shit happened with Diddy, J-Lo, and Sean in that club, and that girl got shot in the face, did she sue anybody?
yeah.
Who?
No, she
did.
did. She went after Shine.
Yeah, she
Yeah, went after all of them.
Puffy, a couple people.
Yeah, she went
The
after
club owner, like all that.
Yeah,
shit.
you gonna like if you're liable, then you're liable.
Now here's the thing, because I don't, to spin the block, and I don't want to get too caught up on it, but I think that, not isolating a particular situation, right? Like Beans, what did he do? And I'm not saying that maybe Jay should have accepted full care responsibility of him, right, in that moment, to your point, right? But I can lead a little bit of credibility on the side of, all right, well, if you didn't do that, then could you have done something else for him?
I think everything that he could have done for him happened before that.
No, but I'm just saying, like even after that, like how's he set up? Like shout out to Bleak. Bleak is set up good, right? Now here's the thing. Let me just add this one point, right? Because this is crucial. This makes sense, and this is why we're having a conversation, because you could disagree, right? It's all opinion based. So when your company's success is built off the strength of the muscle, you have to pay homage to that, right? You understand what I'm saying? When we think about Rockefeller, Dipset, Jay-Z's the premier artist, Can's the premier artist, but what really caught our attention, right? It was the Seagulls, it was the Gems,
It was the Jada.
it was the Jada, it was the ones that, well, wait, all right, he's super nice, he's dope, he's lyrical, but this guy seems a little bit close to the area where it might be a little sketchy.
Yeah.
And this is how he's handling it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now what happens to your organization is that not only are you getting upfront popularity, but you're getting popularity in the circles where that's not upfront, that's not visible, which we call, quote unquote, the streets, right? Now you got a different core base based on the members of your organization, and you have to accept that. right? Like, real talk, you gotta accept that. We all love Jay. Jay's like, Big is always gonna be my number one, right? To me, in my opinion, no one can out-rap Big. But Jay is my number two, right? Like, he's the illest dude. But realistically, at least in my experience and what I went through, I really paid more attention when I saw he had a crew around him. I was like, oh, okay. Well, what's Bleak doing? Oh, yeah. What's Siegel doing out of Philly? Now I'm really, I know Jay nice, but what are these guys doing?
Just think about this. When you ever seen Jay getting attacked or like somebody causing harm to him? Never.
Never.
Because like the crew around him, everybody's like, Beans was like, bruh.
So does never include the time before he came to Rockefeller?
It don't even matter.
Never means
it
never.
matters that he's a billionaire and like he made it to that point, and everybody that was surrounding him, Bleak, Beans, the whole crew, like Ty, all of them.
Yeah.
Like it was a unified force, boy. Like wasn't nobody fucking with him.
Yeah.
Like think about Fat Joe.
Are you saying that's because of Beans?
I think
Did nobody put hands on him?
You said, but like you said, nobody ever did that. So he wasn't there from before Reasonable Doubt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he came later.
Yeah, he did.
I think Beans came through like
But
99.
when he came into the picture,
Yep, I
like
think so. I believe so. I had to
like
take a look at
it, like it's for instance,
They was
like,
rocking since what, 94, 95?
When did you really check Hov, right? I want to get back to Jim because it's important. But when did you really get into Hov? Was Reasonable Doubt really was that really your premiere
I'm
album?
glad you asked that.
Not for me.
I'm glad
It wasn't for me.
I'm glad you asked that.
And I love Hov. Shout out to Hov, man.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
But the reason I'm gonna say yes is I'm gonna explain what happened to you. So I didn't become a Jay-Z fan until I saw the video for City Is Mine, which is from his second album. And he even talked about that. People, like we say, didn't really appreciate it till the second one came out.
Yeah.
I was one of them people, but this is the thing. The only song that I knew that Jay-Z from before that was Ain't No Nigga. And I didn't like Ain't No Nigga. So I was like, nah. Like I don't, I'm not a fan. However, before I even heard Ain't No Nigga, I heard a Crew mixtape that had Dead
Sauce
Presidents.
Money.
Shout out to DJ Clue, Don DeMarco, Desert Storm.
It had
Shout
Dead
out.
Presidents, and it had Can I Live on there. And I even heard Can't Knock the Hustle. Loved all three of those. Didn't know who it was. So, yes, I was fucking with him from Reasonable Doubt. I just didn't know.
No, that's a good point.
Right? But it was City Is Mine that sold me on Jay. I was like, oh, he's a cool dude. You know what I mean? Like I could appreciate what he does. At first, I felt like just because that one song, I'm like, it just sounds like this dude just talking over the beat. They call his style conversational. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really why is he doing that?
But so was Biggie's style. Biggie had that exact same style. Conversational.
I don't know. Biggie had
had
a
to
little bit
disagree
more
on
rhythm
that
than
one.
Jay. Yeah.
For me, Biggie had flow.
No, Biggie definitely
Yeah,
had
Biggie
flow.
had flow. That's what separates him from
So
like
is
Jay.
flow and the conversational style two different things?
Well, it may be conversational, but it's not the same rhythm or cadence that Jay
Yeah,
raps to.
yeah, it's a little different. But I want to get your
Big is definitely more musical than
opinion
Jay.
on when you first recognized Jay. Yeah. I mean,
Hawaiian Sophie.
not was
Original
aware
flavor?
of him, but
Original flavor.
I think it was when everybody
Can I get
recognized
open?
Jay.
Can I get open?
Huh?
Can I get open?
Like
Yeah, Original
Reasonable
Flavor, Can
Doubt.
I Get
Like,
Open?
As soon as you heard beats and songs
Yeah, but that-
on Reasonable Doubt is when it, like
But he was
Jay-
around before that.
He went crazy though.
yeah.
he was around before that.
Nobody paid attention.
I
to
had
him. He was
another
rapping
joint.
like
Yeah,
with
like,
the original
that's where
flavor.
the name Jigga came from.
Bro.
He had a joint called I Can't Get With That.
Yeah.
That wasn't on Reasonable Doubt.
Nah.
That was
Nah.
like before.
But nobody was paying him any attention until Reasonable Doubt, because that's when Big convinced him to slow down the cadence, slow down his flow, and then that's when it grasped the masses.
Yeah. What do you say?
That's when everybody started paying attention.
I want money like Cosby. Who
Yeah,
wouldn't? It's that kind of talk that make me think you probably ain't got no pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't rapping like that before that album.
Yeah.
Soon as Big told him,
He was nice though.
Slow that shit down, everybody.
He spelled his name at the end of his verse on "Can I Get Open." You remember that?
Yeah.
J kicking the A, moving away past Y. I'm so crazy. Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, big
man.
shout to Chubby Chub and Tone Hooker and Ski.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
That's a great combo, man. Great dialogue.
Speaking of Jay, right? So, giving y'all some background, like this guy right here is one of my oldest friends in the world. Not in age, I mean for how long I know him.
I'm a young man.
Me and him met over Jay-Z's. It was a bootleg copy of Jay-Z's Volume 3, The Life and Times of Sean Carter. With
Eminem.
Yeah, it's hot. No, Eminem.
I thought it was Eminem.
Nah, man, it was Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ike.
Lyrical exercise.
We had this class together. It was me, him, and a dude named Ike.
Yeah.
You start the hold on one second. You start the yeah. Okay. It was me, him, a dude named Ike. Ike was from New York. Mm-hmm. And Ike had that album like 2 weeks before it actually came out. Mm-hmm. And we went to my car, we listened to it. I had like a Civic, but that joint had I had a crazy system in that joint. I had like 2 amps in the back, a sub. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that joint was tough. But anyway, for what it was. But we listened to that whole album in there. Like it wasn't even out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then he told me about M.
Yeah.
And he was like,
during the same conversation.
Yeah, we were in the car, you know what I mean, listening to the Jay-Z's album. And he told me about Eminem. He was like, yo, you know who you got to check out? He was like, Eminem, yo, Slim Shady. I'm like, I'm not listening to that shit. Because the only thing that I could think of was, hi, my name is, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that didn't pull me into Eminem. Like he had to do.
I put on some of his freestyle joints though.
On Stretch on Bobbito?
In the car, like on the stereo system.
You didn't even play it. You just told me to listen to it.
Yeah.
Did y'all used to listen to Stretch on Bobbito out here?
Nah. That was on the radio, wasn't it?
Yeah, they didn't make it out here.
3 hours away, man.
Yeah.
No, but you know they shit was so big that they cassette tapes was
like
circulating, bro.
Yeah.
People just hold cassette tapes of Stretch on Bobbito.
Yeah.
Ron G was another one too. Ron G was another.
Yeah.
Ron G used to do the mixtapes and shout out the dope boys, right? And they would give him like $100 or something like that.
You talking about Brucey B?
Brucey B.
Brucey B. Yeah.
Brucey B.
Okay.
Big shout to my man Doo-Wop.
Yeah.
We gonna get Doo-Wop on.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
But, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Nah. Keep it there. You was there. Cause I like the Eminem perspective as well. Yeah, I like the Eminem perspective. Yeah, cause I got something for that too. Yeah.
Okay. That the first Eminem song ever. I remember I was in the barbershop, and we had it on TRL.
You talking about My Name Is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Bushwick on the barbershop on DeKalb Avenue, watching TRL, and that song came on, and I had no clue he was a rapper. I thought he was like one of them rock star dudes that was just spitting a rhyme. And I was like, yo, this white boy is nice.
You thought he was like a Limp Bizkit?
I really did. I honest to everything. I swore
Fred
he
Durst.
was like,
He had beef with him, didn't he?
Yeah, he put him like, dissed him something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching it and I'm like, yo, this white boy is nice. I had no clue he was Eminem, the rapper.
Yeah.
He told
And that's how I knew this dude was a problem. Because I didn't even look at you like a rapper. I looked at you like a rock star that was rapping, that was just amazing.
Yeah, crazy.
Straight up.
Yeah, it's like, for Eminem, it's like, it was personal for me because, one of my brothers in hip hop, the Trife MC, out of Maryland, crazy, super nice, like probably way ahead of his time. Like, it kind of like made me see that whole world of hip hop is for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's the feeling that you get, right? It's not about, race and location. It's about how you feel when you fall in love with it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, seeing him go through it was like, wow, this kid is super dope, man.
Super dope.
Like undiscovered, you know?
This is your friend.
This is my brother, my brother in hip hop. You know, I love this kid, you know. So when Eminem dropped, I automatically gravitated because I saw an example of somebody who gravitated towards the culture that embraced it. My brother, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let me hear what M. And same thing, I was like, oh, hi, my name is, but then his opening line, when he was like, hi kids, do you like violence? Do you want to see me stick? I was like, whoa.
Through my
Each one of my eyelids.
This guy is ready. He's like ready to take on the industry lyrically. So I was impressed. I was like, okay, you know, we don't judge books by their cover, right? We fill them out, you know, all the way. So when he embraced us, that was his gimmick, right? That, like, just try to, you know, identify the paparazzi and all the other people that were there. But lyrically, I listened to that first album. I was like, yo, you hear this guy? This guy's a problem. He's nice. He's nice. I mean, you know, and again, you know, hip hop is for the consumer based on what you like, right? Some of us like lyrics, some of us like beats, some of us can't really tell what we're listening to. It just sounds whatever. But, you know, being an artist, I really appreciated the lyrics, his lyrical capability. And then what really set the stage was Renegade with Hove. I said, whoa, time out.
Did he kill Jay on that?
I'm not gonna say he killed him,
I think
right?
he
Because no
did,
one has ever killed Jay, right? At least
I think he
I don't
did,
know.
bro.
I think he had the better.
did.
I think he had the better verse, but I can't say he killed him.
I don't know, my brother.
Yo, even on the Big album,
You know
like,
what I'm saying? I can't say he
look
killed
at
him.
like,
You know
like
what I'm
to
saying?
death, like the verse with Big, he smoked Big, bro.
Oh yeah,
The Dead Wrong.
the dead
Dead
wrong.
wrong.
Biggie was
But
dead.
rest in peace.
That's
Biggie
not
Smalls said,
fair.
yeah, Biggie
Like,
Smalls.
Bro,
that,
like-
that verse was
Passed.
pre-recorded.
No,
Yeah.
That don't count. You can't say that, yo.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it was an already recorded
It was
verse. He just
already-
added
yeah,
to it.
I
Nah,
kinda
they wasn't
agree
in
with that.
competition with that.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
yo. Like, if I'm chilling and then I'm gone, and they put that verse over a beat, and then you go on in.
Bro,
and just,
did you hear that nigga?
You've already heard my verse and everything.
Killed it.
That
Fire.
nigga said,
I did.
Fire.
I did. Not
It
taking
was
nothing away from him,
crazy.
but I'm not gonna say he killed Biggie.
Yeah. So for,
I mean, you can say it.
Yeah, no.
so Nas,
like,
Nas
yeah.
is 3, Rakim is 4. I gotta put M in my top 5.
A lot of
Well,
people.
so are you basing it on what? Strictly.
I'm
strictly
basing it
lyrics?
on lyrical
Bars.
ability. I'm
Okay.
basing it
Who's
on.
number one?
For me, it's Biggie Smalls.
Big, okay.
Yeah, and Biggie Smalls wasn't the most lyrical, but no one to this day, at least in my opinion, has been able to duplicate his flow.
No, I gotta correct you.
Shine.
Biggie Smalls was definitely lyrical.
Nah.
Definitely lyrical, 100%.
My man said I got.
I mean, most lyrical.
I got 7
Yeah.
Mac 11s,
11s,
about 838, 99, 10 Mac 10s. The shit never ends.
Yo, Big
Rest in
was
peace,
definitely
Biggie Smalls,
before his
man.
time.
Shout out to
Before
shout out to
his
Biggie,
time.
man.
Definitely before his
Who
time.
does
Big
that?
was
Style. Yeah, man.
Even if you had MC Hammer and them 357 bitches.
Man,
man.
bruh.
Oh man.
I had to finish the line.
Yeah, man.
And there has been nobody
Yeah.
that has like compared
Compared to that, yeah.
recently.
But you
know
say
what?
Shine didn't have, you didn't think Shine
No,
sound like Big?
no. Shine had.
Oh, he sounded like
had
Big, but he
vocal
ain't had
projection
Big.
to sound like
Nah.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had that witty.
No.
The rain
bro.
on the top.
Don't do that to us.
Nah, come on.
But you remember the first time you heard that song? Come on. Tell me you
talking
didn't.
about Nas through the whole fucking
whole song, yeah,
is
man.
about Nas.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
What?
man.
kicking the door, waving the
That's
floor.
about Nas?
That's about Nas. Nas say that shit.
Your rain on the top was
Short
short
like
like
leprechauns.
leprechauns. That was about a couple of different rappers. You know what I'm saying? But Nas was in that. He was in
Even
that
this,
mix.
Nas said that shit.
yeah.
He said Big, like, he says that shit on one of his albums. He
Yeah.
said Big was talking
Talking
about me
about him.
on 4-4,
Yeah.
like, the album. That
And
was
you know
about
he
him,
just
bro.
As I
Black
push-
Thought too.
Yeah.
What'd he say?
Like the Roots, Vamoose, your shit is whack to me.
No.
Like, Big went at everybody.
Let's correct that. He didn't say like the Roots.
What he said?
He said like the Gooch from different.
Sure?
Yeah, from different strokes. The Gooch. I mean, I could be
You can look
dating
the lyrics
myself.
up. Wait.
Pardon me, I'm
Search the lyrics.
older, man. I'm from the old school
Nah,
generation.
he was
You know
talking
what
about
I'm
the
saying?
Gooch from
Different
the movie with John Travolta and Bing Rames.
That's right. The Gooch.
With what was that shit
He's
called?
talking about different strokes.
I thought it was different strokes. I thought it was from different strokes. I thought the Gooch was from different
He's
strokes.
talking about the Gooch. Like, yeah.
So, but that's at least that's what my ears heard.
He even talked about man,
Look,
like
look,
Big came at
look,
everybody. even the shit when he was talking about the locks, like these niggas talking that shit, but they ain't living it.
But they knew it too.
Yeah, they knew it
And
too.
then like they knew that he was talking about them.
All right. Well, that does it for another episode of B-Side Bodega. Thank y'all for joining us.
Word. Thank you, brother. Of course.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to come anytime, man. Word life.
Thank you.
Anytime you want to come. Great conversation. Big shout out to my man DJ Nadir in the background. You know what I'm saying?
And the Stu Baltimore.
And yeah, of course. Big shout out to the Stu.
All right. So to close us out, we got what is it tonight? Mo Better, Mo Wet?
Yeah, man. So tonight it's Mo Better and Mo Wet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's a little bit. It's you know, just for those who don't know, man, Molik Shabazz. That's me. You know, Mo Wet. You know, that's my stage handle. Mo Better. That's what I do. You know. So
Nice.
that's what it is, man.
All right, you gonna close us out with a joint?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get it.
Yes, sir, we here. Shout out to the Pro Collab Collective. Shout out to the B-Side Bodega. Thank you for having me. Shout out to the whole New York, from Manhattan to Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Long Island. Shout out to everybody in Maryland, from the Eastern Shore to Baltimore. Yo. Hey yo, who you know? Better than better, nigga, prevented time. Lyrically, I go for the kill. Dead end with every line, every time. These rappers fall into the same trap. Like roaches, somehow they manage to keep coming back. I'm running laps around you niggas like PT. Rated R flow, but you rhyming to me is PG. Be easy before you get decapitated. Yeah, I know you faggots hate it whenever I drop the latest. This is Mo Wet etiquette. Pronouns, predicates. My presence is prevalent when I'm leading the regiment. Excellent. It's how they label my flow. If it's one thing to know, never play with my dough. In New York, they yelling, either you adapt or die. I tell them off, let the ratchet fly. They got me classified as American made, equipped with grenades that'll blow through your brigade. This rap renegade will never lead a game alone. To all you wanna be kings, come and claim your throne. Or I'ma give it to you straight like when the facts are quoted. But wet react whenever the track is uploaded. Gats get exploded, you're whack, and I know this. My turnout is like the number of blacks who voted for Obama. I bomb you when I'm palming the llama. Niggas better relax and prepare for the drama. Don't get it confused. I ain't these dudes you snooze on. In my hood, you can wind up dead if you move wrong. I do a few songs just to get me a check. Cause lyrically, unlike Nike, I'm not easy to check. Easy cadet, you dealing with a militant vet who's been away for a while, but I'm still on the set. If fatigue jeans, that's green, and a team on me. If you ain't never lived that life, then you don't know what I mean. I'm blowing on steam, you know, got some shit on my chest. Walk around all cocky, still feel I'm the best. Better flow, controversial like Kim and Ye. You'll probably get your shot, just not today. What's up? Shout out to Nadir on the ones and twos. Let's go. Thank you, sir. Cool, was that all right?